Arrowhead cannot help themselves but monkey paw so many aspects of the game to the point in which it doesn't even make any sense. They want a more difficult experience, one that rivals Elden Ring apparently, but they'll nerf it in ways that are actually engaging and fun. For instance, the recent surges. On February 17th, 2026, they fixed an issue where surge modifiers spawned more enemies than intended. Whoa! Our players are having so much fun against the Hulk surges, Impaler surges, Factory Strider surges, not Charger surges, Devastator surges. I know. Let's go ahead and reduce the spawn rate. Let's just go ahead and reduce how many enemies spawn and we'll just say it's a bug. And even if it's a bug, keep it. Make it a feature because folks majoritively gave you feedback that those were really fun and engaging. And surges, by the way, gave you a great indication of what you're facing so you could actually make a build for it. It telegraphed information, and it gave you a crazy experience that they could give you every now and again. Like, I wasn't, like, obviously, we could have surges a lot, but they kept them away for months, and we just got them, and folks were a little peeved. On that same note with surges, they had to mix them with Jet Brigade. They had to mix them with the Incineration Automatons. So Hulks were Jet Brigade. I love Jet Hulks. What I don't love is War Striders you can't avoid. War Striders on virtually every single mission for Jet Brigade, and also way less Hulks to fight. And then the Devastator Surge with Incineration Automatons, that faction shoots fire bullets. You're encouraged heavily to wear fire resist armor to avoid unnecessary damage. Not great, very limiting, and there's no transmog to pick the fire resist perk and something else, so you're just shoehorned into a boring armor perk for that faction in particular. But also, they get War Striders on a mission like Raise the Flag, a great one for crazy scenarios on surges beforehand. Now it's a bit dwindled down and pretty boring. But War Striders are just unavoidable on both the recent surges. Meanwhile, folks have been telling the devs relentlessly that War Striders aren't very fun, guys. Maybe don't force it down our throats all the time. Just food for thought. And going back to November 5th, 2024, reduced enemy spawn rates during the Raise the Flag objective and Spread Democracy missions to make the objective easier to complete. The same developers that are sitting there forcing arbitrary difficulty left and right in the silliest ways possible are going to sit there and nerf the difficulty that's actually meaningful. It does something. Folks are happy to engage with it for the most part. Some folks will obviously complain. That will always happen. But most players were having fun. You could even tell because there were almost more folks on the Surge for, I think, either Hulks or Devastators than there were on Cyberstand at one point in time, which was a major order. That is the clearest sign folks are enjoying it. And again, in their ultimate wisdom, they go, we'll just nerf it. We'll just nerf it. It's like, dog, who are you listening to? Who is coming up with these silly ideas to monkey pot, give folks what they ask for, but it's not what they want. And in this case, what they want is aligns with what you want. Or maybe it's just... I don't want to be this guy that's like making up all these like random alternative motives. It's hard not to, but it's frustrating. This is absurdly frustrating because it hurts the game. It hurts content creators. Hi, name's Doe. I make content, and it just doesn't benefit anyone. Genuinely, I don't know why it's happening. It's been happening for a while now. These are almost 2 years apart. Same stupid freaking changes for no reason that in both cases reduce difficulty and reduce enjoyment. And it's like, it's why do that? And it's just it's just 2 changes, Joe. Why are you complaining? Because it's these 2 changes on top of a plethora of other stupid brain devoid changes that I've talked about for the past 2 years that the devs just take forever to even fix. For instance, and I was being nice about it, but we can't fix Dragon Balls bouncing or your Hellpot steering being scuffed until later this year. Yes, you can. You most certainly can. But again, it'll probably be another case of monkey pawing it to where you give folks the fix that they're asking for, but it's not exactly what they're expecting. It's not just what it was, which was fine. What we had before was perfectly fine. What's the big deal? What are folks going to do? They're going to get high ground and toss a stratagem in Narnia that doesn't even have maximum range to begin with. Like, I think most of our turrets have a limited range. So what's the worry that folks get high ground and do stuff? I can't think of many missions in which it would actually hurt the game in a horrible way that folks get ridiculous high ground and can place sentries on crazy high ground. There's already missions that have ridiculous hills that can put a anti-tank emplacement and shoot fabricators for bots. And if you want to make it so they can't shoot fabricators for bots, just make it so you can't blow them up like a dent from Narnia. Higher difficulty, new fabricators that go back to the old ones where you can't just shoot it with Tank like an absolute zucchini and destroy it. It actually hit the freaking vent and break it that way. The reason I'm playing solo in most of the Diet Surge clips is the group gameplay for it is simply not engaging. It's not fun. It's just not chaotic at all. It feels like a very slightly improved version of regular group gameplay, to which I just do solo anyway because that's more challenging. But the original Surges, I played in a group for virtually every single one because it was that chaotic. Being in a group meant more spawns. And fun fact, doing that makes me want to play in a group. I enjoy that kind of chaos, and it seemed as though there's nothing my team could do in most cases to quell the chaos, which meant that I could pop off more. And yes, it's fun to carry the team if you can, and during Hulk Surges, I lost a fair bit because I kept using more skillful loadouts like AMR over the C4. Real quick though, if you guys like the hats, outwaysteams.com, more OhDough merch, my brother makes hats and whatnot. Not sponsored, it doesn't pay me. $25 sold for the hats and free shipping in America. The feedback that Arrowhead acts on is obviously not working. It hasn't been for the past 2 years in the grand scheme of things, because regardless of how many good changes we've had, the negative ones are outweighing them by a pretty alarming amount. And I'm not sure if it's the low sodium subreddit, the official Discord, the feedback forums, it's probably all three, but it's just not doing it, son. It's just, you're not getting an experience that folks are actually looking forward to. Instead, you're getting people that are now turning into overt doomers. They don't even trust that you have the ability to make good decisions at all. That's the bed you've made for yourself. And this does not help. This only makes it worse because it was such a slam dunk, so simple, and you still muffed it up. Muffed, whatever. I don't get it, man. And it makes me seem like I'm just this person that can never be happy. Meanwhile, I've praised the Factory Stratter Surges. I even enjoyed the Hulk Surges, even though there were some issues. The invisible hitboxes weren't great. Them twisting torsos weren't great, but I saw past it. I tend to look past the bugs consistently, and instead I focus on the intentional choices the devs make. They either improve the game or make it worse. That's what I look at, because that's far more actionable than these things that, happen on accident. And it's getting to the point in which the devs will do things that aren't on accident. They're on purpose. And they're not in the patch notes, and they haven't been. It's been a recurring trend, and people still give them benefit of the doubt. Oh, they didn't mean... Oh, it's just a bug that chargers recover after charging, and they don't lift their wagon whatsoever, so you can't shoot them in the back. It's just an accident. It just so happens to co-align to essentially align with all the previous changes they make to enemies that don't make any sense, but we'll ignore that. Because of course, accidents happen, guys, even though they've admitted to all these secret nerfs consistently. Anyway, here's a rant, because this one apparently wasn't. Is it a Berserker Surge? Is it a Devastator Surge? Or is it a War Strider Surge? Like, bro... They mess up the easiest stuff, and it's like, how are you not supposed to get upset at these brain-dead decisions that are just so simple? Like, dog, maybe you take the feedback that War Striders suck so much to play against, and you don't spam them with surges. Raise the Flag almost never has War Striders, but with Incineration Automatons, for some reason, it has it. It's just so stupid. Like, they think it's just difficulty. Oh, it's just difficulty. They're pursuing difficulty in the stupidest way possible, and they're reluctant to make changes because they're taking advice from brain-dead idiots. That's what it is. Folks that hide behind the guise of being good and telling folks to get better, so it gives them like some superiority complex whenever they can't even do a morsel of what other folks can in the game itself. Like, they can't begin to handle difficulty they're asking for in the first place, so they're okay with making the game more annoying to play because they won't experience it. It's stupid, it's brain dead, it is beyond mind numbing, and I don't get it. Like, I'm sitting there just trying to engage with this garbage, and it's like so many changes they make also make the game more annoying. Like, my turrets die faster for no fucking reason, because sure, we'll just go ahead and increase durable damage because that makes no fucking sense, and we do like, we're Arrowhead. We do things that make no sense. They Arrowhead stuff. Don't just like quit arrowheading the game for 2 seconds. Make some changes that require brains, like 2 brain cells, just 2, not ask for a lot. Two brain cells that generate energy to create a cohesive thought that is worth actually pursuing. But like, Just stop pushing this garbage in players' faces constantly and calling it difficulty. I'm ragdolled half the fucking game. I'm just trying to have a good time, dude. I swear. And my thing is, if I'm not having a good time and I am pretty good at the game, I get paid to play it. What are other people experiencing? That's what I think about. And at the end of the day, you can make things difficult without making it arbitrarily annoying for no good reason. And instead, you pursue meaningful challenge to a degree in which people enjoy failing. They enjoy losing and they want to get better. And once you get to the end result, that's also fun. Instead, it is ball busting. I'm dragging my nuts across the Saharan desert on 10 miles of broken glass, just fiending for an ounce of enjoyment. And once we get it, the devs take it away. Are you serious? We asked for surges. You give us this bullshit. And every time we get difficulty that actually matters to some capacity, they remove that too. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, the automatons are spawning a little too many drop ships on raise to flag max difficulty. We'll go ahead and reduce it. That's what we wanted. That's what the folks that have a functioning goddamn brain are asking for. That the difficulty that actually means something. In a horde shooter, nonetheless. And instead of that, which they did that, and they also reduced surges. Surges had a bug that just made it actually fun to play against. We handled that. We wouldn't want you guys to have fun against the fun surges with more enemies in a horde shooter that you can actually know what you're facing. Hulk surge, tons of Hulks. Bring a build for Hulks. Devastators, tons of Devastators. Bring a build for Devastators. It solved tons of problems, was fun to play against, and they still messed it up? Are we serious? Oh, man. But instead of that, all we get is the annoying enemies shoved down our throats constantly, no matter what. New Hive World, guys. Opens the box. Alpha Commander spam. Rupture Strain garbage initially. So many enemies are just really tanky, or they ragdoll you, or both. Sometimes not fun to play against. It's like, take that feedback. Take that feedback and maybe keep it there, whatever, but let me avoid it a little bit. But it's so hard to avoid because so much of the new content, so much of the new events that are fun to play against, or they should be fun to play against, are intertwined with that garbage. Case in point, the recent surges. Jet Brigade, War Striders. Instant Automatons, War Striders on Raise to Flag map. So no matter what I do, it's just difficult to avoid this garbage that it's just not fun to play against objectively. It's fine to exist to a degree, but not to the point in which I just simply can't ignore it. You see the problem? I think it's clear as day. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to make video games. All you have to do is have common sense. But again, maybe it's just the devs listening to the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth that are either not good at video games, or they're good, but they're so bad at interpreting what difficulty means that they will just sit there and say that everything is, if it's more difficult, that's all that matters. And this happens in so many games. Remnant 2, Dauntless, Helldivers 2, and even Far Far West. Oddly enough. Like, that's more so like the players, by the way. On that last one, I'm referring to players who consistently justify occasional bad decisions under the guise of, it makes the game more challenging. But they'll excuse the degradation of the game's quality of life, the baseline of fun being reduced, and honestly, the difficulty not increasing by that much. That's how it goes. If it makes it more challenging, nothing else matters. But of course it does, and in most cases, the games I've listed, these folks made changes to them that affected all difficulties, not just the highest one. But hey man, we want a difficult game. Focus on fun first. And do not for a second begin to diminish the fun so haphazardly to make it more challenging when folks didn't buy the game for the difficulty to begin with. You can make a game challenging, but do so in a meticulous, intelligent manner, which requires effort. It requires thought. We aren't seeing that in some games these days. We're just seeing these stupid changes being made on a whim, and they're just hoping it works out based on the feedback of some Muppets that might be great at the game, but they're bad at understanding it. It is definitely popular to hate Helldivers 2, but I don't make negative videos because of that reason. In fact, they're not good for my channel. When I make these videos and they actually have a good point to them and folks are like, wait a minute, that makes sense. Now they have less reason to watch Helldivers 2 content or to even play the game in the first place. That's not particularly conducive to a channel whose primary focus is gameplay and guides for the game. That, by the way, are way more evergreen. Negative critique videos, for the most part, are not evergreen. They potentially get crazy views initially, but even then, who cares? Because for advertisers, I don't think those folks are excited about negative videos either. I don't know for certain, but the fact of the matter is, I have a second channel with 700 subs, and I'm posting gameplay videos that are, I would say, ratio-wise, beating my main channel that has 230,000 subs. If I sat here and just posted positive videos all the time, this channel and I would be far more successful. But I just don't have the ability to do so. And maybe other folks are just blind to the actual issues. That'd be the hope. Otherwise, they're like complacent. Complacent? They're complicit. I think that's the word. And they're going along with the nonsense. And they essentially put on a facade where they actually don't like the changes, but they'll sit there and tell you everything's fantastic. In my case, I have a hard time doing that. And I've been this way since the game came out. I loved it up until that very first update where they had hidden changes that made stuff worse. You took more damage, took more headshot damage. Enemies were moving weirdly. Now, those were not conveyed changes in the patch notes. I never said they did that, but they did do that. So I've been very consistent, man. And it sucks that even with my consistency, now I get lumped into the crowd of folks that don't even have anything meaningful to say. And they're just, the game is terrible. The game will never be good. I'm not saying that. I'm, in fact, offering very simple solutions to make the game good. And in fact, most of the time, it's just, hey, do the thing you were already doing. Don't change it. That's, for surges, for instance, that is the advice. Do what you did before. Why change it? If you're going to fix it, fix the things that I gave feedback on. The invisible hitboxes for bodies. Maybe make bodies despawn faster. Have it so the Hulks don't do freaking Pilates or Zumba while they're chasing it down. They're being contortionists. Fix those issues. As always, I just want the game to be more fun. It is not rocket science, but the devs make it seem so because they are monkey paw enthusiasts, and it needs to stop. I promise you, man. Every time they give us a buff, they have to find like a way to also nerf something. Borderline every single time. And that's just weird. Is it a cultural thing? Is it like a Swedish thing? I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know, because I have not actually seen this level of monkey paw in any game I've ever played. I've seen ego. And the ego's there. I think, at least, unless it's a cultural thing. Anyway, that's the video, and I just want Helldivers 2 to make better choices. You can make some mistakes here and there, but please stop making the exact same mistakes, which I pointed out at the very start of this video. The two things that are absurdly similar that both lead to less enjoyment. For what? What's the actual gain? When you make changes to the game itself, just ask yourself, will it be better off in the long run? Or are we just doing this to fulfill our own selfish desires? Maybe you're just listening to the wrong people, though. That's the optimistic view, but we'll see what happens. Thank y'all for your time, and have a good day.